doesn't, they'll struggle a little bit.
And I think that's perfect timing because they're going live into the pistol round here. So we'll be bringing you Flipside up against Dignitas on Cobblestone. And it's actually Flipside's pick here.
Yeah, we saw Flipside not do so well on their pick the other day, but nevertheless they were playing a much different opponent, and now World Edit spots out the aggressive terrorists at long at A there. Config will make his way back towards B, but World Edit will definitely just fire away, keeping the terrorists at bay for the moment. Waylander pushing through, picking up Config. That's a big frag, not just because of the positioning, but who it's on. Config, such a dangerous member of this Dignitas team. He goes down early, Jim, and F3 look like they're settling into this pistol round quite nicely.
Well, not only that, Waylander's pushed all the way through the B hall, so he's got fantastic information as to where Dignitas are actually going to be on this map. He knows instantly that they're not going to go towards B, but Cajun has this flank, so if he does take down the Waylander completely unaware, they're going to go back towards this B bomb site, and you can see the CT rotation coming back through, so it's a bit of a merry-go-round at the moment.
It certainly is, but Markelov will be the point of engagement here for his side, and it will be a fake actually here. Once again, Team Dignitas doing the ring around the rosy here, going back towards long. It's not as if the Flipside guys have completely left that. World Edit there still patrolling the A bomb site, and he's going to use his teammate Shara there to try and pick something up here, but it's going to be a lot of terrorist aggression. Nice trade there. Cajun B firing away. Magisk Boy moving into the site. He hits a nice shot there on World Edit, unable to contribute there. Disappointing for him, but nevertheless, Cajun B nails Markelov. See you later, and it's all left up to Blade, and I think this really outreaches his means, and it definitely does. He goes down, SMF picking up the kill. That was a really patient and well-worked round there from Dignitas.
It was really patient. You could see they had that, patience. Cajun B going all the way back around through T-Spawn and actually flanking Waylander, who'd pushed through the B halls. So I thought Waylander had done a fantastic job. However, the counter from Dignitas was perfect.
Certainly was, and they were able to pick up the pistol round. The standard 3 AK, couple SMG coming out here for Dignitas as World Edit pushes long A with that. He has invested in armor as well, and he'll pick up all the accolades, including the head of Cajun B, who had a rifle there, but it's gone on to Magisk Boy now, and so the AK's not lost. Config doing what he does best. World Edit getting a little bit greedy there. I would have loved to have seen him fall back after that initial pick and make Dignitas work more for the second frag, but Config, if you give him any sort of reasoning at all to give you a kill, he will do that.
He delivers on so many fronts for them, and again, just proving to be difficult to manage there. Now you can see they're a bit split here, Dignitas. They've got, whilst they're in pairs, they're actually between the two bomb sites. So at the moment, just trying to hold and wait out any CT aggression. Flipside have shown that they are willing to be aggressive on the CT side, particularly on that pistol round. You saw Waylander actually get way forward into the B hole. So they're really trying to wait this out. You can see they're now going to regroup. Looks to be that they're going to hit this A bomb site, and there's only one person holding that. So Markelov has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, this is really good signs early here for Dignitas, and they're playing controlled and at their pace, which is very good to see, not taking any chances, moving around these corridors to B, and now they've finally decided it's time. 30 seconds to go, so still plenty of leeway they've left themselves here, and it's going to be as easy as that as MSL rolls in, takes down Markelov. Magisk Boy fires away, but Shara will be on the flank to no avail. SMF picking up the kill. Nice controlled tempo here for the start of Dignitas's match. And they will look to push on here. Another eco inbound here for F3. And they will try and save this one out. A couple of P250s here, but no real investment.
No real investment just yet. Just waiting it out and seeing what they can do. There is a Zeus on Waylander, so I'm very curious to see how that goes for him. He's sitting in that drop room, so it's a dangerous position, but this B rush is coming in from Dignitas.
Yeah, it won't be too useful there, unfortunately, as SMF rolls through and gets Shara, and Magisk Boy takes down Waylander, gets a couple. This is nice work here from the terrorists, mainly because those SMGs have picked up 3 out of the 4 kills so far. And if World Edit goes down here to one of the SMGs, that'll be perfect, but 3 is okay. 3 or more is what you're aiming for in this situation with those SMGs, and they've ticked that box, so their controlled start to the match continues.
World Edit just looking for a weapon of sort here. But the question is, will Cajun B be the one to surrender it to him? They're very, very cautious in their exit from this B-bomb site.
Yeah, it's going to be World Edit, just holding on to that P250. Doesn't have much else to do, really. He's just going to wait to see if he can get a gun, but even if he gets a kill, it's going to be to no avail. Cbble picks up the last kill with that AK-47. Team Dignitas roll on 3-0. Flipside now with a bit of work to do, but it's just the pistol round, and they'll be pretty familiar. Not being the best pistoliers themselves, they don't win a high percentage of those pistol rounds. It doesn't necessarily take away from the overall skill level of the team. It's just on those particular rounds they don't have a really winning percentage. But they'll learn to move through that as they develop, I'm sure. Now Dignitas will move quickly towards B here, Jim, in a good change of pace, but they've still got 3 SMGs in hand.
They've sent SMF in without too much support at the moment. He's gone down early. No chance for a trade. Shara finds the next frag, but he's been bullied away from those stairs now. They are going to try and find him here. Config gets that opening, but you can see they're committed to this site now at the moment. They're going to try and find these frags through the smoke. Trades left, right, and center. And now Config has a chance to do some damage. 2 quick headshots from him means it's now a 2 versus 1 situation. World Edit making his way through the doors. And that bomb is yet to be planted, but Dignitas are just looking for that frag first.
Yeah, lovely patience being shown here by Dignitas, actually, as neither of the turrets want to get their position away, and World Edit tries to go big there, but Config picks up the quad kill. 3 headshots in that masterpiece from the Team Dignitas star player, and he's really flexing early, which is a bad sign for Flipside. He was a monster yesterday, as we said on Mirage, and he's continuing his run of good form here. But that was a round that Flipside really should have won. They ran at B with really inferior weaponry there. 3 SMGs in hand, and not even really a UMP. I think it was 3 actual putt-putt guns, so to speak. And the AK ended up doing the damage for Config. 4 kills. That
was a brilliant nade there from Magisk Boy, but you can see very passive start here from Dignitas, and Cajun's just waiting out in those the back courtyard, seeing if anyone's going to get aggressive on those A side halls, but you can see both teams just waiting each other out. Just again, Waylander with that Zeus trying to steal away some weaponry, and it's your favourite sound in the game, Peter.
It is. I would really love that noise, that hilarious noise that happens when someone gets tased.
Infernal racket.
Yeah, it's just the greatest noise in any computer game ever. That noise when someone gets tased. As Config easily takes down World Edit there, and although the flash was okay from the World Edit, but his aim wasn't true. He didn't even get a bullet off there, and now SMF and his teammates will roll through mid. Dignitas being very clinical here early, and they're leaving no stone unturned as they move in towards the A-bomb side.
Yeah, just grouping up here, making sure that they get those trades if necessary, and they're just mincing Flipside on the anti-ecos here. So at the moment, their money is building really well. You can see Config there. He's nearly maxed out. So these first 5 rounds have gone quite well for Dignitas. Minimal losses as well. Other than that gun round where they decided to rush B platform and send SMF in with no real support at all, it's actually been quite composed from Dignitas.
It certainly has, and their reward for that is that AWP pretty quickly onto Cage and B. Grab that. He was excellent with it yesterday, as you said, but World Edit also with that AWP in hand, and he was equally as dangerous when on yesterday. Shara, they're trapped, actually running backwards in towards the Molotov, and that's a very, very critical use there of his smoke to put that one out. He's going to miss that one a bit later on in the round, I'm sure, as the clock hits a minute 25. World Edit and his Flipside team just defending here from a distance.
I do like the use of that Molotov, though. That was basically ensuring that there was no platform control coming out from the CT side. Blade actually picks up Config, going solo towards that A-bomb site. We saw him yesterday, actually, on Cbble doing the same thing. And when he actually got going in that bomb site, he was selling the fakes perfectly. But I think Flipside have recognised this now. You can see that 4th CT making his way over towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, Shara actually saw the gun barrel there of MSL. So the jig's up here for Team Dignitas, and Config has gone down. So someone else is going to have to do some pretty heavy lifting here. They look towards Magisk Boy, who can be equally as dynamic, or maybe Cage and B to open it up, but it's actually SMF who rolls in and gets the first kill there onto Shara, and now Markolov will fight from the statue. He gets one. Nice control there from Markolov, just picking his targets nicely, and he'll do just enough for his team there to bring that one home for Flipside, and they get on the board.
It's working for Flipside in that round there, and they're able to get their first on the board. Obviously that money tree that Dignitas are now just harvesting will mean they can buy into this round quite comfortably, and also the next one, I dare say. But Flipside, good round from them. shoring themselves up. 4 of them actually survived that round, so that's fantastic news for their economy. And we will see this early B aggression coming out by the looks of things from Flipside. Sorry, from Dignitas, but it's not as urgent as it was on that first gun round, is it?
No, and I think the urgency in that first gun round was actually spawned by the fact that they had those 3 SMGs. So they wanted to get into that bomb site really quickly and eliminate the close range opponents, but right now they're just lying in wait. SMF makes his way up the platform. And well, that it's very, very isolated on the other side of the map with that AWP, so he's going to provide no quick help at all, and that's going to be dangerous because Waylander goes down to SMF very quickly. He gets focused down. That'll be a double there for SMF. Lovely work entering the bomb site there. Markov not able to contribute. Shara being pushed across, and that's a lovely B-side take there for Dignitas, but you have to wonder, as SMF gets a triple, almost the quad. He does get the quad with the Molotov onto Blade. So World Edit isolated all by himself. Plenty of time to edit that World.
He's going to need some handy hints here, but look, that was a fantastic round from SMF. He's the substitute for Dignitas here in the absence of Robinho. There was a few question marks over the firepower swap out there, but I think he's put those to rest as he's shown us that he's quite capable of entry fragging, and that's exactly the role that Dignitas is using him in at the moment. You can see World Edit's giving away his position here, and they know exactly where he is. They want to take that AWP out of his hands, and that is going to spell disaster for the CT economy.
It will, and I don't think we'll be able to get both of these guys here. He does a great job repositioning, though, and he might just survive if he doesn't overpeak, but he does. I thought for sure he'd just crouch in that corner and ride that one out, only about half a second to go. So, unfortunately for World Edit, he gets a little bit nervous and peeks out there. Loses his AWP, but clinical stuff there from SMF, the substitute player. He's actually topping the frags, so great output there for fragging for your substitute player. He'll be very happy with the way he's going, and as will his teammates. Team Dignitas take control of this one, and Flipside Tactics back on Eco.
Yeah, this is disastrous for Flipside Tactics at the moment, and it's tough for CTs to hold on Cobble as it is, let alone with little weaponry and utility. But they've actually gone for the double Zeus this round, so Waylander and World Edit actually holding on to those. And we've seen World Edit, should I say Waylander, use that in the drop room. He's actually using that again, but World Edit's just holding a very close angle here with that Zeus in the A side halls, and he could actually reap a bit of a bounty here.
He could. He's about to. I think he should push. You can hear him. You can hear him. Go, man. Yes! Well at it. Nice one. He gets that to go, and I think it's only responsible that I duplicate the noise.
Of course.
Ah! Ah!
And enough.
And enough. A couple's good. I love that noise. It gasses me up every single time. Well done it there. Thank you very much for providing me with yet another classic Counter-Strike moment. As Wayland, we could be on again here. We could be on again. He hasn't got the range there, unfortunately. He's going to go down, but not before Shara can trade onto Config. I was going to say SMF, but Config there picks up the double. Easy money for him, and Markelov will be left in this side hall position, but he should pick up a gun somewhere.
He's looking for it. I think they've actually thrown it away.
I think they could have, and they have. So great job there by the terrorists being thorough in their covering of the tracks. He's looking around, seeing what he can find down there, if anyone's left it behind. But it's just Dignitas here holding on.
Yeah, no, he's going to need a metal detector or something. He can't get that one. He won't be able to find that one, so smart work there from Dignitas. They knew they surrendered a weapon. They've thrown it away. We haven't been able to catch that on the camera, but it means Markelov has to go empty-handed. He did, however, pick up that smoke, so that's at least $300.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a cash bonus. Cash in hand for a good afternoon's work there for Markelov, but we see this a lot, don't we? Markelov left alive, trying to do something for his team. Familiar situation. He plays a lot of solo spots, and as such in CT especially, he's last alive a lot of the time.
It's tough too, I guess, when you're not holding that bomb site. It wasn't an eco round too, to be fair, so there's not a lot he could have done in that instance, but
he did the best available option. He went looking for the gun.
Well, exactly right.
So he did the smart thing. It's just that he was outplayed there by the thoroughness of Dignitas, removing that weapon from play.
Yeah, just so the smarts of Dignitas. Meaning, flip side, their economy again is under pressure. You can see Blaze actually on that FAMAS. So they've been able to get that AWP in World Edit's hand. So I'm at least relieved to see that because he, for them, is a fantastic CT side offer. And I will be interested to see whether or not this slow approach actually plays into World Edit's hands.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Dignitas here, Jim. Their subtle changes to their slow default split pick across the terrace side is really something of great hard work and dedication. It's not obvious to you if you're just sort of watching idly, but the number of different sort of mid takes and then top mid holds and side holds and just different ways that they're shielding themselves from an oncoming attack is really quite masterful. And whilst this might not get them over the line against the top tier opponents because of just the sheer firepower difference against those top teams in the world, the hard work they put in will certainly help them against teams like Flipside that do match up similarly against them in talent. But this extra, I guess, 10 or 20% of strategy is really helping them be consistent through this whole side.
Dignitas actually pick up that frag with Magisk Boy opening up onto Waylander. And you can see now, Shara's actually able to find the reply in drop room. And they are going to hit this B platform. So they actually pushed World Edit out. The orb's gone down. Shara finds the reply through smoke, but that bomb should go down. Markelov tries to prevent that. Not able to do so. Back to a 2 versus 2 now with that frag from Blade. And you can see that MSL is bleeding quite heavily. And it's up to Cbble here to just stand over him and be that guardian.
Yeah, and he's got a great angle on the bomb too, has Cbble, and MSL's doing the smart thing there. He's not moving an inch. He's waiting for his teammate to make a play. Now, Shara's doing a great job. He needs to stand up here for his team and win this close one, but he doesn't have a defusal kit either, so Cbble doing a great job there of just standing tall. He'll take all the damage and finish that one off. Shara not able to connect the USP at the end, but the bomb was frantically ticking away in the background there, and he didn't have a kit, so he's going to find that one difficult anyway. Well played there towards the end by Dignitas.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot he could do in that instance at all, and you can see here, it was just, he had to go and try and make that frag, Shara, and Cbble played that perfectly. Survived as long as he could and obviously won the round for Dignitas, so the pain is continuing to be heaped on Flipside at the moment, and now you can see that it's an 8-1 scoreline. World Edit has actually gone for that shotgun, hoping to try and get himself some money. It's an investment for him that could pay off because he's the one tasked with that AWP. So he needs to manage his money astutely in order to be able to afford that in as many rounds as possible. And that's difficult on a CT side.
Not taking their foot off the gas either here, Team Dignitas. They're going to work through their slow and steady progression here on their T side. But they've also thought very, very hard about what the economy is like on the other team because 2 players have bought Mac 10s. And they're going to go fishing for all of these kills and try and let their own economy grow, even though it would be in a dominant position right now. So they're not taking their foot off the gas at all, which is good to see.
Magisk Boy actually using that SMG quite well. He's let MSL also get out the drop room, and this is what Dignitas are doing really well. They're farming quite profoundly with these SMGs. Well, Edit does get one frag, looking for the second, not able to find it. Does a lot of damage, but he's taken down. Thankfully, MSL was able to survive. 5 HP left to his name, and now Shara in this 4 versus 1. There's really not a lot he can do here other than try and look for a weapon, but you can see the crosshairs of Dignitas are trained in his general direction, so not a lot of room to work with.
No, and if Flipside are going to continue to hold this map defensively as they are and not really push Dignitas back out of the choke points that they want to be in, if they're going to play passively, they need to do a better job of controlling software. They need to smoke maybe a little bit deeper into the drop room towards the staircase side, maybe get a boost up, a safer boost. Make sure that there's grenade pressure coming through that area because once Dignitas have control of that drop room area and they know that they can get drop room, after that it's just a matter of time for them. They just sit around and wait and wait and wait for Flipside to reveal themselves, and eventually that AK is beating out the M4 a lot. So great stuff here from Dignitas, and they'll continue to move towards that drop room.
And Magisk Boy just inspecting the armor of that statue, but we will now see a slower approach again from Dignitas. We've seen this. It's quite a patient territory approach to the map taking, but World Edit, no side hauls with that. The shotgun could do a lot of damage, but you can see no one from Dignitas is really interested in taking that this round. So unfortunately, I think he might be found out wanting. In fact, he's got that XM when the rest of his team are on rifles. So obviously, it's determined which positions he can and can't play effectively. But hopefully he'll be able to find himself a frag.
Yeah, and unfortunately there for Waylander, he stepped into the Molotov for one single hit, one single flame on the foot, and Magisk Boy heard that sound, grenaded, and came around the corner, and this is unraveling And a rate of knots here for Flipside once again. Team Dignitas just bullying their way onto that B-bomb side. World Edit is pretty happy with himself. Meanwhile, the rest of the players on Team Dignitas are actually in B with the bomb down.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what World Edit's actually doing there. There was an AK down for him, but I think at the moment, if you could try and make some money with that XM first, I think that's his first port of call. He knows he's got a surety in terms of a gun there, so he'd rather get that frag with the XM by looks of things. As Blade actually takes down MSL, exiting that site, but this is interesting because SMF has made his way all the way through to the tower. So up Rapunzel's tower, he won't be able to find anyone just yet, but he might be able to find Blade if Blade does overextend himself here. But well, then it recovers that AK.
Certainly does, and for me, Jim, that shooting on the ground, it was just a sign of frustration. We've all been there in games where, you know, things aren't just going right, and maybe because well, that it's AWPing A, and he really hasn't used that AWP at all because he's got nothing to shoot at. By the time he gets involved, his teammates are dead.
He's had a very tough time making any sort of impact at all, hasn't he? And I think that's frustration shown there through that round. But you can see now, again, Dignitas, that very, very slow, methodical approach from them. It's frustrating, Flipside, isn't it?
It certainly is, and World Edit, I think, showing a little bit of his frustration, but there's still a long way to go in this game. You know that you can really bring it on the T side, but if you're Flipside Tactics, you need this round. Like, this is a huge round. Just in the context of the game, you lose another gun round, and all of a sudden, that's about 6 in a row that you've lost.
It can get quite panicky to it around that 11 round mark, and you've only got one round yourself. So they really need this next round in order to give themselves some confidence that they can actually go on and maybe go towards that 5 scoreline. So if they can get 10-5, it's going to be a good half for Flipside. But at the moment, they haven't shown any real hope of getting that scoreline.
They're not changing anything though. Blade picks up a double. Could be a triple there. Does a lot of damage. SMF going down. She's just 6 points of health. Now this is a 3 versus 4, but it may as well be a 2 versus 4. SMF is completely devoid of health, bar 6, and well did it there on the close angle. He's going to have a great time of things if they walk around the corner. And he should be able to get the first one to go. He does. Great shot there, but he's kind of trapped. He gets legs down by Cage. Not sure why with so much notice. Well that it would have been in that position. They had so much time to reposition that AWP into a better location. Behind the truck, for example. And that's going to cost him because now a round that could have been pretty simple for Flipside is now turned into a 2 versus 1 against Cajun B. And Cajun spotted them both out, but Shara will hit the shot there. An AWP gets recovered by Markelov, so that'll do. And find its way back towards World Edit. But at the same time, there's definite things Flipside could be doing to change it up.
And despite winning that round, it's a bit of pill to swallow too for Flipside because they're at real risk of being reset here if they don't go on to win the next one. So it could be a really tough half for them if they don't actually follow it up with a round win because only 2 members survived. So that city economy taking a real battering, and those rounds have been hard to come by, and it's going to be tough for them if they don't win the next.
Yeah, I like that boost though. That's a little bit of a change up from previous setups here. Markelov getting up onto that tree platform area and just scoping out the B platform. SMF will work his way through the smoke. That's a great timed flash there from the CTs. Well, it picks up the first one. This is good. He's moved his AWP to B. This is a bit of a change up from here from Flipside. Finally, we see some life, and it works out well. Shara, World Edit, and Waylander combining very quickly. Config's going to be left on the platform by himself. We know what he can do. But just the change of positioning there from Flipside. The boost and the AWP at B, it took them 12 rounds or 13 rounds to just make some simple adjustments to their CT side hold to stop that B progression from Dignitas.
It was a bit of a late change, wasn't it? But it paid dividends, so they can't be too disheartened just yet. But it was a great round for them in regards to their money situation. So they've been able to effectively keep guns in play that round and not take heavy losses. So it bodes well for them for the rest of the half.
World Edit there picking up config, so the Danger Man, well, one of the Danger Men is down, but Cajun B replies very quickly. So difficult for me to fathom how you can have World Edit AWPing B and win the round for the first time in a fair while and then instantly have him going back to the same spot he was in for so long that didn't work. It's interesting for me.
Not only that, too, he actually opted to jump out and take a really wide peek, so the chances of actually getting away in that instance were quite low as Shara finds SMF, so 3 versus 4 situation, but they're going to hedge their bets back towards the B bomb site here, Dignitas, so they're going to put a lot of pressure on Shara at that platform.
But that's been the progression all game for Dignitas, and yeah, again, I don't understand why World Edit can find himself going down at long A when every good intention from Flipside here should have given the impression that Dignitas were just going to keep hitting this B side, which they've done with monotonous regularity so far in this game, but lessons not learnt, sometimes harder than others, and now Cbble will fire off a couple of times with the AWP. Shara, instead of hiding there after a few of the AWP bullets, continues to peek, and now Magisboy will just continue the dismantlement of this B side.
The Blades push through the B halls here, so a lot of pressure now is sitting on Markelov's shoulders. He can't get that frag, and it's now 3 versus 1, and a long way away from play. Blade stands, so I think at the moment he's just going to opt to try and save his weaponry. That city economy, whilst they did do the right thing and piece some rounds together, in fact 2 of them, it's not going to be enough to allow him to go for this. In fact, he will just recover World Edit's AWP, so there is glittering of good news among the round loss.
Yeah, Cbble trading onto World Edit early and then moving that AWP back to B and just having a field day, picking up 2 more and entering that bomb site with ease. It just makes you think, what exactly was the strategy there from Flipside? But again, they could have just wanted that early pick, and maybe World Edit thought there was just going to be a lone AK there watching the push, so he could pick off the AK for free, but the AWP may not have been there. But good read there, I guess, from Dignitas in the end, is what you can put it down to, if you're not going to put it down to the mistake of World Edit. But he'll grab that AWP once again, and he's going to have to do something at the B bomb site to stop this Team Dignitas roster from just forcing their will.
He's been one of the few positives for Flipside. Whilst we said he's definitely frustrated, he hasn't actually had that AWP in his hands for a majority of the rounds that he's wanted to and had the impact he's needed. But there he goes at B bomb site, taking down SMF early and more importantly locking things down. But you can see the heavy commitment from Dignitas over towards this A bomb site, and there's only Blade sitting in the way, and he's going to go to Famis, so this could be very, very difficult for him to navigate.
But World Edit's got so much time here because of the early pick, and they forced the rotate from Dignitas back towards A. So Blade here will be in a great spot if he can get some help. ESL, unfortunately, should have gone down there, but now World Edit's in a great spot to fire up and get the job done here for his team. He's been flashed out, but he's still got a good angle here. He can work with this, can World Edit, although the teammates are falling around him. He gets a second frag for the round, isn't aware of the danger pushing up at him, and Cbble will trade out. 2 versus 2 here. Shara is now all alone in this 2 versus 1 here. He needs this for this team, but Cbble once again just multi-fragging almost every round, it seems, with that AWP. First kill of the round and last kill of the round usually have gone to Cajun, so he's done a great job of not only getting the pick, but staying alive and keeping his team moving forward. So great stuff there from Dignitas. A complete dismantlement of the Flipside CT defense, and they're going to have to do something really special on T-side.
Yeah, head-to-head, Cajun has definitely had the upper hand over World Edit, his opposite number, if you will, in that AWP department. So he's had more chance to impact the rounds. On T-side, his aggression has actually paid dividends, and World Edit has really struggled. He got that AWP in his hands quite a few times, actually, to his credit, during that half, but unfortunately wasn't able to have the impact. I think he was best used over towards that B bomb site, and when he was able to get that opening pick into the round, Dignitas had a lot of trouble killing the Flipside. So there was only 3 rounds to their name. It's going to be a tough ask for them, and it's really going to place a lot of importance from their perspective on this pistol round.
Certainly is. Like all Flipside tactics pistol rounds, they're going to be hard to come by. But nevertheless, they can definitely get this to go with a decent strategy here. A couple of smokes, a couple of flashes, get themselves in there, take the team fights, and they'll be fine. If they try and take those individual gun battles, they will not be fine. So it will depend on which way they want to go. 12-3 is the score, and a lot of work to do.
And they're going to get underway with that work, as we do see them split out of the bomb site there. You can see a heavy presence from, or should I say Dignitas, over towards this A side halls area. They're going to double peek the side halls. MSL is paired with Cbble as Majisco actually takes a lot of damage there in the middle, and World Edit recognises this and is going to try and pursue him.
Yeah, Markelov here working the drop room, but ultimately a lot of individual battles being fought here for the Flipside guys. Not exactly optimal right now, but they look as if they're grouping up towards A, which is a shame because there's 3 members of Dignitas there waiting for them. But MSL starts to get a little bit inquisitive about what's going on in mid, and he'll wander down to try and sound out exactly what his opponents are thinking. Bomb goes down towards the just the back end of mid there for the Terrace, and they'll look to move pretty quickly after we move down towards the 45-second mark, because they've not really got any sort of inkling as to where the CTs are either. So the Terrace and the CTs playing a big game of chicken right now. They're facing off, and time will tell where they will end up going, but it looks as though Flipside have finally decided to go towards A.
That is going to put a lot of pressure here on Majisco. He's already taken down to 12 HP, but you can see Cajun is holding that site with him. And now MSL gets caught out completely. He does take down Shara first, but Majisco standing bold on top of that roof. He does get one before he's taken out. SMF, though, is battling at those doors, allowing Cbble to flank from the side. It gets the triple. Fantastic work from Cbble in that instance. Great work from Dignitas. They secure the pistol, and Flipside tactics. Surely this is going to be too hard for them from here.
Cajun's having a field day, 19 kills, 1 assist, 5 deaths. He's getting good support from most of his team, actually. Everyone in double digits apart from MSL, but he's got 8, so he's pretty close. The F3 guys obviously in a 13-3 scoreline. There's not going to be too many good moments, but well that there, 13 kills. So he's at least contributed regardless of the scoreline, but you know, it's looking pretty grim right now for Flipside. They have to be able to find a way back into this gym, but I just don't know where it's going to come from. A moment of brilliance from someone is required here to spark them back to existence and back into life, because right now they're looking like it's a training run on a Sunday afternoon here for Dignitas.
Yeah, they've got pistols brought into this round, so it's going to be difficult for them to get into the sites without making the frags first, but you can see that smoke just shores up the drop room for the moment. MSL fighting at the window here, might actually go down, but he actually puts that smoke up to help assist him in this defense as Waylander. Trying to sell the fake over towards the A bomb site means pressure back on Flipside here. They boost back in up the drop room, so they did have 2 committed to that drop. Smartly, Markelov opts to try and stay, and they go back towards the A bomb site here.
Yeah, MSL's going to spot out the first one there. The bomb goes down, that's Blade with it, and MSL will continue to fire down. SMF picks up the kill with the UMP as well. World Edit picks up 1. So it's not over yet for Flipside, but it's getting close to being that way as Majisco takes down World Edit. And now Shara with that wide out P250 is going to have to do some pretty serious shooting. He gets 1. That's all he'll manage. SMF on cleanup duties there with the UMP 45. Team Dignitas roll on 14-3. Flipside tactics now with a pretty hard decision to make.
Well, they made that decision last round. They actually opted to buy in pistols rather than eco and try and go for some guns on this round. So I think their hand has been forced. They've just opted for some very, I guess, just chancing their hand at the pistols. That's essentially the decision they've made. They're going to go and try and win this on pistol rounds alone, and it's not going to bode too well for them, because I think Dignitas have just recognised this now with that last round buy, and they're just going to play passive in the sites. They're not going to overcommit. They don't need to contest the areas. They're going to try and force the pistols to come out.
Yeah, and the pistol will come out indeed after World Edit. He could have got one there, but unfortunately doesn't go for him. Markelov looking around for that P250 to try and do some damage, but he won't even reload it, but he does get a kill anyway. Config on the edge of the smoke doesn't seem to find his target quickly enough. Cbble fighting once again. He gets 1, he gets 2. He's been an absolute rock for Dignitas at that B bomb site. He gets the 3rd as well. He powers along 22 for 6, 18 for the substitute SMF. And yeah, Cbble really putting the spices on.
Well played, sir.
His alias almost sounds like a Jamaican chicken dish. Cajun chicken. No?
Where'd the B come from?
I don't know. Cajun bird.
True. I'd like to see him play more chicken coop.
Get him in Cheeky Nando's.
Of course, but Now match point here for Dignitas. We see some AKs coming out, and that Neon Revolution on Markolov is going to try and make a difference here in the drop room. He's tasked with trying to do it solo, and unfortunately World Edit has been able to find that frag, and that opens things up on Dignitas. Their CT side defense is just slightly thinned out a little bit now. You can see 3 over towards the B bomb site, 2 tasked with the drop room, and just Cbble, the man we said was turning on the spice, tasked with solo A-hold.
He'll pick up the first one there onto Shara as he just crouches around the corner and tries to get the first kill, but it won't be there for him, unfortunately. And now his team, with only 4 members remaining, is going to have to try and make something happen, but they're being almost surrounded here by Dignitas. They're swarming all around, and they've got a pretty good idea of where this attack is going to come from Flipside, but nevertheless, you see all the CTs grouping towards this B bomb site, and they're going to be spot on here, or are they? Good counter rotation here from Flipside, so signs of life and a good shot at taking this round out if they get their runners on.
And it's only SMF here at the A bomb site, so that smoke's going to go down. They've got 20 seconds to get there, so they're going to have to make that frag and then get into the bomb site. MSL now has heard them coming, and his flash is trying to delay them. Now that smoke is fantastic. He delays them getting onto that bomb site. 9 seconds left. They've got to get the frag onto SMF and get that bomb plant down, but great work from Cbble. I don't know if they're going to get it down in time. They do, and it puts the pressure back onto Config here. 2 versus 1.
2 versus 1, and he will pick up the first. This is danger zones now for... He's the last member, but Config has no idea that he's crossed back to the left, so that's a great outcome there for the terrorists, picking up the round-saving kill. 11 to go, though. Flipside to save this one.
Well, that's right. Now, Dignitas, their money isn't fantastic, but I think they're going to go for some upgraded pistols here. Fortunately for them, the same is the case over on Flipside Tactics camp, because despite winning that round, their win round bonus did not cover their losses. So they're forced Markolov by default to actually go onto that Tech 9. His money was the worst, but he does have a little bit of utility to spare as well. So you can see Shara and World Edit quite light on their own utility. So this is an interesting round coming out from both teams' perspective, because Dignitas have actually bought into this with pistols. His Config just shows a little bit too much at the top of his head. Markolov quickly rips it off, and it's back to a 4 versus 5.
98 and 2 though to Markolov from Config, so it was pretty much a trade. Not quite, but the fact that Markolov survived is really positive there for Flipside. Obviously, the man advantage is still there. He can contribute if it does come to it, but he's going to be pretty defensive after he gets slammed down to that low health points. But MSL here, they're a little bit greedy and get punished for it. He could have just waited a little bit longer, just a minute to go. Moves have to be made here by Flipside eventually, but they're doing a good job, just as Dignitas did now, of being very thorough on their anti-ecos, checking all the spots and making sure they get that safe plant down, which they will. And it looks as though the boys from Dignitas are just going to try and push here for exit kills and pick themselves up an AK.
Yeah, just trying to save that that armor that Magisk Boy has, but you can see they're going to try and group up. Well, SMF are in Cbble in this instance. They've left Magisk Boy to his own devices over towards the toilets there, but it's going to be looking for those exit frags, and they're potentially going to get them here, as we do see Cajun taking down one. He takes down a second. Markolov goes down. The deagle is real as the one taps come out. Now, one left to contend with, but I don't think they're going to peek him. Not in this form. Cajun is having a tear, and we'll pick up Blade as well, so it's a fantastic quad kill from him. Unfortunately, he doesn't save that AK though, so a lot of damage being done to Flipside Tactics and no financial bonus for Cajun.
Well, I think he's just stopped World Edit from getting an AWP. So that's a massive play from Cajun, because someone would have been able to drop him there, but now they've been forced into dropping the AKs. So massive play there from Cajun, picking up the quad. Regardless of how big the actual deagle headshots were, which were massive, just the sheer economical damage he's just done to Flipside is crazy. Flipside end up picking up a great round though. They were very thorough, right up until the point where they exited the bomb site, and then Cbble just put on a click.
He's pouring on the spice.
He is. It's spicy up in here.
You can't cage him.
I want to keep going, but I fear the worst if we do go down that rabbit hole. Dignitas, just taking care of business here against Flipside. Only one round to go, Cbble and company playing really well right now. They've pretty much played, I'm not going to say a flawless game, obviously, because Flipside Tactics have 5 rounds, and but I haven't really seen any glaring mistakes from Dignitas. I haven't seen really any kills that were, what was he doing there, or how can you be so out of position? It's just been good rounds from Flipside Tactics that have won them their 5, but for the most part, Dignitas doing really, really well.
It's just been a clinical showing from Dignitas, and they're going to go and push this sideball's Flipside as they do lose 1. The trade is good, though. So MSL looking for that third, not able to find it. He does get Blade down to 10 HP, though, so massive work from him as we see Flipside splitting this A-bomb site through the drop room.
Yeah, Shara's going to have a massive role here as he flies away, but can't get the kill there. SMF going huge, getting the absolutely critical frag, because now the bomb plant will go down. SMF will stay alive, but the 2 remaining terrorists, 10 and 3 HP alike. That will be a huge headshot from Blade. And now Cbble not knowing that the... I thought he was going to save his AWP there, but he's just gone around for the rifle. And no, in fact, he's gone back for the kit again. So he didn't pick up the kit the first time. He's gone back for the defuse kit, and that's going to be the first. What is Markelov doing standing in the middle of nowhere? And Cbble has a pretty good idea of where the second one is. He takes them both down.
Huge round.
Massive round there from Cbble. Picks up the double and wins the game for Dignitas, but very strange clutch positions there for the 2 remaining members of Flipside. Just awkward positions. Not really covering anything at the same time, leaving themselves exposed to many angles. So, don't know about that one, but overall, it was just a great performance by Dignitas.
It was clinical from start to finish, and we expected that from them on cobblestone. So, yeah, that was a fairly convincing showing from my perspective, from what I saw from Dignitas. But it was always going to be tough for Flipside after such a brutal CT side. It
was always going to be a huge challenge, and then that pistol round came and went, and it was just all over by the shouting. They did have a few bright spots. They won a gun round, and then could keep it together for like 2 patches of 2 rounds, but I mean, that's nowhere near enough, obviously. They go down 16-5, and I think that the scoreline pretty much sums up how the game went. 5 of the rounds of the game, Flipside were the better team, and the other 16, basically, yeah, you get where I'm going with this.
I think we do. Either way, it's been an interesting first matchup. We, of course, will be bringing you the second match very, very shortly, guys, between Flipside and Dignitas. We will, however, be taking a very short break here in the ESL Pro League. So I've been Jim Nesso. Joining me has been PDG for the first map. We'll be back for the second in about 5 or so minutes, guys. Until then, sit tight.